let's connect the power adapter and then check the 3 volt 5 volt circuit. Let's put the black probe of the multimeter in the ground and check these two inductors. Here we have 5 volts, and in the second inductor 3.3 volts. Next to inductor we have 3.3 volt in the electrolytic capacitor, and also in the test point or the pad 3.3 volt. The same for this channel. We have 5 volt in the inductor, 5 volts in the electrolytic capacitor, and of course 5 volt in the test point or the pad. Means this circuit is a serviceable circuit. Let's connect the power adapter. Oops, we have a problem. We have a short circuit here. Let's confirm. Let's do it again. 100% this motherboard is shorted here. Once we connect to plug, the LEDs turned off. Means we have a short circuit. Hi, in this video I'm going to teach you how to track voltages in a dead motherboard using the multimeter and the circuit diagram. I'm going also to teach you how to find a short circuit and solve it. So let's get started. So because the 3 volt and 5 volt circuit is the responsible for generating the primary voltages for the whole motherboard, we gonna first check this circuit. So as you can see here, we have 3 volt and 5 volt channels. So let's connect the adapter and then check whether we have 3 volt and 5 volt in this motherboard. By the way, this motherboard is a dead motherboard. I'm going to show you how to repair it step by step. So of course we should set the multimeter to the DC voltage. As you can see, DC voltage. Of course we gonna select 20 volt. So let's select 20 volts in the multimeter and let's check the two inductors. Here as you can see we have ground everywhere in the motherboard. So let's put the black probe on the ground and then check using the red probe of the multimeter these two inductors. So let's check the pad. We should get 5 volt. As you can see, the multimeter will get 0 volt. Means the 5 volt is missing. So let's check right now the 3.3 volt channel. Nothing in the multimeter. As you can see, we get 0 volt in the multimeter. Means also the 3.3 volt is missing. What should we do right now? We should confirm if the 19 volt is received by the motherboard or not. So let's check this inductor. Basically this is the input. As you can see, we get 19 volt. We have 19 volt. So because we have 19 volt, normally we should get here 3 volt and 5 volt, because the 3 volt and 5 volt voltages are always present in the motherboard once you connect the adapter without powering on the motherboard. So now if we go to the schematic, as you can see, this is the input voltage, the 19 volt for the 3 volt circuit, as you can see. And here also for the 5 volt channel, here we have the input voltage, the 19 volt. As you can see, we have plus V bar. So as you can see, we have two ceramic capacitors, as you can see, C10 for a 7 and C10 for a 6. Okay, we should find 19 volt in this capacitor and also in this MOSFET Q1009. The drain of this MOSFET should receive 19 volt. The same for 3 volt. As you can see channel, we should find 19 volt in this ceramic capacitor C1062 and in the drain of this MOSFET Q1023. So let's see in the motherboard. So as you can see here, this is the 5 volt channel. Here we have inductor L3. Here we have the pad 1. This is the electrolytic capacitor C21. And here we have ceramic capacitor C22. So in the back of this circuit, we have the input component here. We have two ceramic capacitors, as you can see, C1047 and C1046, and we have Q1009. Normally, if we check these ceramic capacitors in this side and the drain of this MOSFET, we should get 19 volts. Okay, so this is the source for this MOSFET. Here we have the gate, as you can see, and this is the drain. 4 pins connected together. So let's connect the adapter and let's check these two ceramic capacitors. Here we have 0 volts. Normally we should find 19 volts. So let's check the drain for this MOSFET. Normally we should get 19 volts. The same, we have 0 volts. So the 3 volt 5 volt circuit does not receive the 19 volt. So we should track this 19 volt from A to Z until we find the failed component. So now I'm going to show you how to track the 19 volt from the power jack until the 3 volt 5 volt circuit using the multimeter and the circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram. As you can see here, we have the DC jack, as you can see. Okay, the 19 volt will goes directly past through the ceramic capacitors and then goes to Q1002 and then goes directly until we get here plus VBAT. This plus VBAT will be distributed to the whole motherboard, to all circuits in the motherboard. Basically, this plus VBAT is missing. We should find the failed component. So let's connect the adapter once again. So the adapter is inserted, is connected to the motherboard. So we're gonna put, of course, the black probe of the multimeter in the ground, everywhere in the motherboard. So let's check the ceramic capacitor. As you can see, we have 19 volt. Let's check the second one. We have 19 volt, as you can see. Here we have inductor. We should get 19 volt in both sides. As you can see, we get 19 volts in both sides, exactly as we have in the schematic. Now, if we go to this MOSFET Q1002, as you can see in the schematic, we should get 19 volt here in the source. As you can see, we have 19 volt in the source, okay, in 3 pins. And of course, let's check the gate. We have the control signal. This is the control signal. So we have the 19 volt in the source and the control signal. We should get 19 volt in the other side, in the drain. So let's check. Oops. We have 0 volts. Means here we have the problem. This MOSFET is failed, or we have a short circuit in this motherboard. We have two options. Maybe this MOSFET is failed, or we have a short circuit in the other side of MOSFET. So let's check it out. So as you can see, I didn't find the same MOSFET with the same reference, and I make just a bridge, as you can see, using a wire between the drain and the source, just in order to troubleshoot and to find the problem. So here we have the adapter, as you can see. We have this. You should always use this kind of adapter in order to detect if you have a short circuit or not. So let's connect the adapter. The LEDs are turned off, as you can see. So let's do it again. As you can see, the two LEDs are on. Once we connect the adapter, the light is switched off. Means we have a short circuit in this motherboard. This is a 100 short circuit in this motherboard because the LEDs are switched off once we connect the adapter.
So how we can spot fastly the short circuit in this kind of motherboards? I'll show you how. Let's see the schematic. So let's see the circuit that generate 1.5 volt for the RAM. So if you understand the circuit, you can understand any circuit. Please pay attention because this is the most important in this video. Okay, so let's assume that we find that this inductor is shorted to the ground, and we know that the inductors should never be connected to the ground. So if you find a short between inductors and ground, means we have a short here. So the probable component that can be shorted are all component that is connected to the ground, including the IC. The control IC, do you see here? The control IC is connected directly to the ground, as you can see. Connected directly to the ground. Then we have this MOSFET, the lower MOSFET connected directly to the ground. Then we have this electrolytic capacitor connected directly to the ground. Then we have this ceramic capacitors, the input ceramic capacitors. All these 4 capacitors are connected to the ground. But how we can spot firstly the bad component? Okay, now we assume that we have a short circuit in this circuit. So what you have to know is that the short could be in this part here. So this part is the input part, the input voltage that is connected over here. We will get plus V bar, as you can see. Here we have plus V bar. So this is the first part where we have high voltage, plus V bar, about 19 volts. And we have the second part where we have lower voltage or low voltage, about 1.5 volt. So first, the short could be here in this part where we have high voltage, or in this part where we have low voltage. So the first step is to separate the high voltage from the low voltage. How? By removing this MOSFET. You see, the only connection between this stage here and this stage here is this MOSFET. So the first step is to remove this MOSFET and then isolate this part from this part, and then check the inductor. There is 2 states. When you remove this MOSFET, there is 2 states. The short, if the short is in this part here, you will not find a short between the inductor and the ground because you isolate the shorted part here. So if you remove this MOSFET and the short is disappear, means you have problem here in one of these ceramic capacitors or in the VBAT power rail, means charge circuit. But when you remove this MOSFET and the inductor still connected, still shorted to the ground, means those ceramic capacitors and the VBAT or the 19 volt rail power rail is good, means you have problem here. It could be ceramic capacitor, it could be this MOSFET, it could be the IC. So when you remove the MOSFET and the inductor still shorted to the ground, then go ahead and remove this inductor. So in this case, the short will be either here, because this one is removed, it will be either here in this side or in this side. If you find that the short in this side here, means you have problem with this MOSFET or the IC. Okay? But if you find that the short in this side when you remove the inductor, means you have problem here. As you can see, you have problem with this capacitor. Okay guys, please, if you have any question, in the comment below. And please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and for anyone who wants to accelerate learning, you are very welcome. Join me in my Patreon page. I can be your mentor if you choose the mentorship membership. All links in the description. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.